Hey, this is Mark, and today I've got the classic iPhone 7, 7 Plus audio IC problem. The customer it says that they can make and receive phone calls just fine, but they cannot, the person on the other end can't hear them. And when I open up voice memos and try to record, it says no audio devices found. So pretty sure this is going to be what all of them always are. Bad joint at C12 under audio IC. So let's see. Where are my special little hookers? Gotta get my hooks out for this repair. Just got back from New York and have not yet unpacked everything. Just finished up yet another practical board repair class, and we are in the process of finalizing deals. The deal for a really exciting thing that is coming up. We're going to offer a master class with some surprise content and people. So can't really say much more about it than that. But here very shortly, I expect within the next week or two, we will be formally announcing all of the details and price and curriculum, all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's see. Let's see if we can get this chip off of here. I don't like the way my hooks are right now. They're too hooked. Damn TSA. They are like super rough with the bags every time. All right, that's gonna work better. All right. Now we got to reball this chip. I do not get to do these audio ICs very often, even though they are kind of the new Touch IC. They're probably the most common repair nowadays after TriStar. Um, but I never get to see them because they are so straightforward that they all get done in New York and never make it down to Florida. But every once in a while, I run into somebody local here in Jacksonville that needs one done. That is what has happened. All right, now I got to dig out extensive. All right, that should be clean enough. As you can tell, I make sure everything is totally prepared before I start recording. All right, we're getting there, I promise. All right. That looks good to me. There we go. Jumper in place. And back onto the hot plate. There we go. Get that orientation right. And all right, that should be all there is to it. Now, just have to let the board cool down a little bit, pop it back in the housing, and see if we can record with voice memos. So while I'm waiting for that to cool off and cool off enough so that I can test it, I guess I'll quickly go over some of the details about what I just did and why I did it that way. So to begin with, I put it on a hot plate. And the reason for that is because with a hot plate, I can use my hot air at about 40 degrees Celsius lower than what I would normally use. So that means I can use a lower temperature, and it causes less risk of creating a bad joint on the opposite side of the board under baseband. So, a very, very common problem after Touch IC repair for people who, are newer and running into issues. Common problem is no service after Touch IC repair. And sometimes it's just, there was always a problem. It just wasn't apparent until the board was taken out of the housing and heated up. But sometimes it's because you use too much heat when you change audio IC. So doing it on the hot plate helps with that. Also, reballing the audio IC with leaded solder allows you to use less heat and less time when you're installing the chip back on. So definitely recommend using the hot plate. If you don't have one, we sell them on iPadRehab.com in the supply store. So be sure to check that out if you need to get a hot plate to do these jobs. All right. Plug my lightning cable back in. Let's see. And we are not booting, so Going to switch over to DC power supply and see what is going on. Because technically I myself fall into the inexperienced category when it comes to audio IC. I do them every month in New York and rarely have any issues, but you know, you don't do them every day all day, so I don't really have a technique that I feel is completely foolproof. Let's see what's going on. DC power supply says you are consuming 400 to 500 milliamps as soon as I connect power. So that tells me that I've got either a short on, well, it's probably not a short on BCC main. It's most likely a short on VDD boost. So that looks like that's my problem right there. So, even when you are relatively experienced, you can still run into problems. And I think it's good when, a repair that I'm recording doesn't go, 100% to plan, because I think it helps with the confidence of, the rest of you guys out there who maybe wonder, does everyone else run into weird problems? Yes, we all do. So I should be able to separate these once the hot plate warms up just with the iron. I feel like that's going to be less risky than using hot air, even though hot air would be a little quicker. But I should be able to melt both ends of this cap just by touching one end, at least once the board gets up to temperature from the hot plate. Or like that, touch both ends at once. I'm going to add a little bit of leaded solder to my iron tip just to make better thermal linkage. And now I've done what I did not want to do, which is add a bunch of solder into this entire area, because that kind of makes a pain in the ass. All right, this cap missing that little piece at the end. I'm gonna take him off. I'm gonna dig out a donor board. Not going to record that part just because, it doesn't really serve any purpose. I'll just get this guy back on. There we go. That guy's on. And this cap being gone would be fine. Nobody would ever know it was gone. So, if I didn't have a donor board on hand, or if you didn't have a donor board on hand and you needed to replace it, you could get away with not having it on there. But, I got a stack of 7 plus boards here, so no reason not to just go ahead and replace it. after I get everything else tested and make sure it's all good to go. It's funny, just like, let's see, today is Tuesday. I was in New York on Friday and did 3 of these jobs back to back and had no issues. But, of course, once I'm back home with my own equipment that I am more familiar and used to, and I start recording, then I have a problem. But, like I said, I think it's good to show that, not everything always goes perfectly. I really don't like those kind of edited videos out there that, certain people and companies who I won't call out by name put out. But, I'm really not a fan of the edited, like, let's just make it look like everything always goes perfect people. You know who you are. Not a fan. All right, let's see. Well, we got Apple logo again, so that's good. Let's see if I can get this into focus. There we go. All right. So for one, we do still have service, so that's good. And let's go into... And we are shutting down. Where'd it go? Oh, I didn't catch it. All right, this needs to get plugged in. It gave me the spinning wheel shutdown thing, which, maybe that's because I started it up while it was too warm, but maybe not. All right, so, okay, we'll go into voice recorder, and, oh yeah, this guy doesn't have a home button, so there we go. Recording, 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 recording. Look at that, it's recording me. This is good to go. All right, so there you have it. iPhone 7 Plus, no audio, 100% fix, bro. Even the experts cause problems for themselves sometimes. So, hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.